Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lita Loca. I am your host, Tony, and this is Cruise Night Live. Yes, it's a live cruise show on a Tuesday, and it's an important cruise show because I booked a cruise just a couple days ago. I mean, to be fair, my wife, the lovely Jenny B, booked the cruise. Booked a cruise just a couple days ago, the rarest cruise I have ever been on. And I'm going to reveal what that is shortly, but not very long, maybe like 5 minutes. We'll wait until everybody shows up. But I am running a poll right now. I am curious as to how you tip on a cruise. It seems like that's been a hotbed issue as of late. And of course, I am here as your question answerer. If you have any cruise questions, just type the word question in front of your question. That way I'll see it. But big welcome to everybody in the chat. Welcome to everybody, Loca fam, near and far. What is your cruise countdown? That's a good question to start off with today. My cruise countdown is 1 month, 1 day, and 19 hours. We will be leaving from New York City. We'll be leaving from New York City, going up the East Coast of the United States on I think it's the Enchanted Princess. Our friend Walter is actually staying tonight in the hotel that we will be staying at when we go to New York. And he's been sending us pictures, and it looks pretty sexy. Question, did you notice John Heel didn't really answer the tipping question? He just said snitch on the crew member. Look, I said it the last live show. There's really no clarity about this tipping thing. And I don't know why. But so, yeah. Yes, I noticed. I've noticed for years that's not the we never get the answers that we want. The question is, how do we respond to not having the answers that we want? It's pretty interesting. I'm running that poll, 282 votes. I think most people, I've always paid my assigned gratuities and I give extra cash, but I've always felt a little weird about it because I felt like I definitely want the crew members to have all the money that they deserve, but it's weird how they extract that money from me to do it. I just wish they would bake it into the cost. Question from Becky Lewis. What's a must-do in Alaska? I have 6 days to Alaska, first-timer. I say whale watching. Whale watching was the thing that hooked me on Alaska. You can have a wonderful time just getting to Alaska, sailing in the Inside Passage. But I'm sure you've got a glacier day as part of your cruise. That's amazing. All that fjord. Just stay away from Harrison Fjord. That you got that fjord cruising. And then if you're in Juneau, I would definitely go to Auk Bay and go whale watching. That's an amazing thing. And if you can swing doing an excursion that gives you a little bit of time at Mendenhall Glacier and the whale watching, that's the chef's kiss. I mean, you're not going to have enough time. You're going to just get a taste of Mendenhall. You won't be able to do a lot of hiking there, but you'll be able to see the glacier from land, which is pretty cool. And then that. But then, there's a lot of cool stuff to do. Skagway is kind of like an old mining town, so just walking the streets and checking out the shops and getting fry bread, which I've never gotten fry bread. But there's a lot of cool stuff to do in Skagway. And then Ketchikan's the same thing. There's some good excursions there, but it's very walkable. But if you're going to do one excursion, because excursions are expensive in Alaska, I would definitely do the whale watching at Auk Bay. Tracy's Crab Shack, some people would say that's a must to do, but I've been watching people on social media say that their meals at Tracy's Crab Shack, just to get like a big crab leg, like $300. So it feels like it's more expensive than it used to be, but everything's more expensive than it used to be. Let's see. Questions. Exceptional Carolina Girl says, I know you missed Star of the Seas. I do. My friend and neighbor, Mike the Naughty Cruiser, is on the Star of the Seas right now, and I almost went with him, but that would have been nice. Question, where are your videos on MSC World America? I saw the reel, but not much else going in November. So, Robert, I'm working in partnership with MSC. So I delivered them I made one long video, like 15-minute video, and then I made some more short form, and they have to look through it and see if they want me to publish it or not. So I think it's a pretty good video. Hopefully it'll be on the channel within the next week or so. But basically, I just went through and showed the stuff that I found to be interesting. It was a cool ship, so hopefully we get the video out to you soon. We're also working on some sort of MSC discount. So, I mean, it doesn't help that you've already got one booked, but for folks that are thinking about booking MSC, hopefully I can share a discount with you soon. Ida Yof says, fried bread, do I mean bannock? I don't know. Don't they call it the Skagway Fried Bread Company or something like that? They're calling it fried bread over there, so I don't know. Question, where to stay in Miami prior to Icon of the Seas? So I'm trying to think there's got to be a good hotel down by the port, but normally I stay at the Blue Lagoon, which is about midway between the airport and the port. It's about a 35, 40-minute drive to the port on cruise day, but I find the prices to be a lot more reasonable. Stayed at the Hampton Inn, the Holiday Inn out there at the Blue Lagoon. And then I stayed, when I went with MSC, I think that was in Miami, and they put me up in a hotel there, but I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty nice. Anybody have a good hotel recommendation near the port in there? Wonder if Naughty Cruiser will get to meet Rover. Who cares? Who cares, Adam, about these stupid dogs? Don't get me started. Yeah. Let's see. What is your go-to as soon as you get on the cruise ship? Man, I try to time it so that I can drop I'm always carrying a carry-on because I have my CPAP machine and I'll never check my CPAP in. Plus, I would never check my cameras and my laptop. I wouldn't put that in, check luggage. So I normally have a rolling bag and my backpack. I try to time it so that I can drop my bag off. That's really my go-to. I don't really drink alcohol as a way to vacation or whatever. So probably lunch. Lunch is usually a go-to, but once I get through embarkation, I like to just sit somewhere and watch other people come in. And normally I get to meet a lot of people on the cruise ship, so I try to post up somewhere and just start meeting people. Is kind of what my cruise experience is like. But yeah. Question from Tamika: have you ever tried river cruising, and is it better? I've never tried it. I've watched videos of river cruising in the U.S. It looks pretty not fun. But then I've seen videos of river cruising in Europe, and that looks like a lot of fun. It's very expensive, and we haven't tried it yet, but I think it would be fun. Homewood Suites in Brickell. That's a pretty good one near South Beach. Yeah, Marco, I have a mini CPAP. I could probably put it in my pocket. I guess the whole setup's about like that, the case that carries all my stuff. But still, I don't put it in my big luggage. What group cruise are you on in October, James? We're Enchanted Princess out of New York City, I think on the 11th. All right. I think the time is now. How many people are here? All right. I think there's enough people here where we can talk about the rarest cruise I ever booked. This cruise will be on, I forgot what the date is. It's so rare. This cruise that I booked will be November the 16th out of Miami, Florida on the Carnival Celebration. And the reason that this is the rarest cruise that I've ever booked is because this is the first cruise that I know of that my friend Don Terrace has ever cruised on Carnival Cruise Line. Now, I've known Don for 7 years, and I've never seen him on a Carnival cruise. And when we cruised to Japan back in 2019, this is YouTuber Don Terrace from Don's Family Vacations. When we cruised together in Japan back in 2019, he said it was his 101st cruise, and now he's on 180 or something like that. So he's been on 180 cruises. I don't know if any of them were on Carnival. I think he said he was on Carnival at some point, but never since I've known him. So a solar eclipse happened more recently than Don Terrace was on Carnival Cruise Line. I did have a problem that I was trying to solve here in September. I wanted to go to Celebration Key to check out Carnival's new private resort experience. And I was going to take the Carnival Elation out of Jacksonville to do that toward the end of the month, but I've got a lot going on here at home in September. Excuse me. And so I decided when I was talking to Don the other day, he's going for like his travel agency. So I think it's like a seminar at sea. I don't know if they call it that or not, but at least I'm excited because I would have gone on the Elation and I wouldn't have known anybody, but there probably would have been a lot of people that knew me, which is always a weird thing. And then, so at least on the Celebration, I'll still get to meet a lot of new people, which is exciting, but I'll have good old Don to pal around with. So he might be busy with his travel agent people, but either way, I want to see the look on Don Terrace's face when he experiences Carnival. He's a big entertainment guy. There's a lot of interesting entertainment on the Celebration. I'm a big ship guy, and of course that's one of Carnival's biggest ships. And we got it. So this is the interesting thing. I got a casino deal. I'm booking a guaranteed inside cabin for 7 days. It includes the gratuities because I prepay my gratuities, and I will tip extra in cash. It includes my prepaid gratuities, and I have drinks in the casino. Anybody want to fathom a guess what that cost me? There you go. Linda's on her 160th cruise. How about that? Ida, yes, I've been on a transatlantic, just one. I went from New York City over to Rotterdam with some stops in the UK, and then from Rotterdam, I continued on the same ship, the MS Rotterdam, to Norway, Denmark. Did I go to Sweden? I didn't go to Sweden. Norway, Denmark. I ended up in Amsterdam. Amsterdam. Man, you guys have some low guesses. The 160, it's more than 200. That'd be great if it was on. You guys have better casino deals than I do. Nancy, what's going on? Said Don was fun to hang out at the Paradise Beach Club. Yeah, that was a good time. Good time. Great taste. The king of beers. Just port fees and taxes. Diabetic. I don't actually know what the final cost was. I think it was $700. Jenny B, was it $700? $700 for all in? $700? Which I feel like that's pretty good. Pretty good for a week of cruising. The U.S. Forest Discovery Center is great and fascinating for $5. Where's that at? Is that in Alaska? Mr. Z, do you gamble? That's the precursor. Rackham Green, question. This might be silly to ask, but would you ever consider doing a YouTube where we can pay X amount to bounce ideas, questions? You're open and honest with stuff. I probably would. I think I have done a live where I just answered YouTube questions, so I'm not. I didn't charge for that. I have considered sometimes doing maybe like a group coaching or something like that, but like where I look through people's channels, but. That's I don't really have the bandwidth for that right now, but maybe possibly I'll do a YouTube Q&A over on the Tony Barnett channel. That would probably be more appropriate. So this is a great time to say, hey, look, if you want stuff that's not cruising or some cruising or just whatever I'm thinking about, that's on the Tony Barnett channel. I'll put a link if you guys want to subscribe. And that's where I would do that kind of live, I guess. So if you're looking for YouTube content, YouTube educational content from myself. Let's see if I can get to a window where I can pull up that channel, that Coco Chanel. It's just my name. Not hard to find. I think it's /T Barnett on YouTube. Tony Barnett, not the baseball player. Tony Barnett, not the baseball player. There we go. Subscribe to that channel if you guys want. There's a great video, though, over there already that's running right now of when we went to Murphy, North Carolina, a little vlog with me and Jenny B and my brother-in-law Steve and his girl Daner. Are the cabanas in Celebration Key worth it? I haven't been there, Joshua, so I don't know. Thank you for the super chat. I wish I had a better answer. That's kind of why I got to go, because I got no idea. I like cabanas. I don't know how much they're charging. But if they're reasonable, I was thinking about reaching out to Don to see if he wants to get a cabana for that day. The Copa. Copa. Oh, man, my nose itches. Does that mean somebody's coming to see me? Databetic, thank you so much for the super chat. Now 695.01. I don't know what that is. Copa. Copacabana. Let's see. Naughty Cruiser, how's it going there, man? You enjoying it? It's a great ship. But you were on the Icon, though, but so you probably weren't as shocked when I was, but I know you like it. Question from Eric McClelland. What do you do with your phone plan when you travel? Do you need extra international package? I don't know if it was included in my T-Mobile or if I don't think I pay anything extra for it, honestly, but my T-Mobile phone works around the world. I have not run into a place yet where my T-Mobile coverage has not worked. And they usually give me 5 gig of data. And then sometimes, I get a text message when I turn my phone on in international places, and it gives me the lay of the land. I always have that 5 gig of data, and a lot of times I'll upload the videos that way. And then they'll say, look, phone calls are X amount of dollars, text messages might be this. But I don't ever really make any phone calls other than through the internet on my, like I'll make a FaceTime call or something like that because I know I've got that 5 gig of data. But I've never had trouble with my T-Mobile thing. So, Marco Zaff, thank you so much for the super sticker. Super sticker. Oh, Naughty Cruiser, you never been on Icon? Okay, yes. So you did get that shocked moment. That's so nice, right? I think it was Ben or David that told me, hey, this feels so big because the cabins are gone from the middle. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. Because, on the Oasis class, they have those cabins that look out into the promenade. And I think that's where, of course, the ship's wider either way, but I think that's where you get it. What is the itinerary of this cruise? I also wanted to know if you will pass by an island in the Abacos named Elbow Key. Riley, I'm not sure any islands that we pass, but let me see. I haven't even added this to Shipmate yet. Let me go. Let's look at it. Let's check it out, as the kids say. We're going to check on it. Carnival Celebration 2025, November. And we said it was going to be the 16th. It's 7. Oh, Eastern. I see the word Eastern. Miami, Celebration Key. Oh, man, almost immediately Celebration Key. Nassau in the Bahamas. Sea Day, one Sea Day. Then Amber Cove, Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. Grand Turk, Sea Day, back to Miami. Yeah. It's not a bad itinerary. There's fun stuff to do at all of those ports. I'm looking forward to that. I don't get it on the cruise, Nancy, when I go to the ports. So on a cruise, I use I'm assuming that people are asking about phone service at the port. On the ship, I don't get phone service. I just use the Wi-Fi. Normally, I park my car at the port, which is expensive, but it's convenient. Michael asked that question. Do you or Jenny B seen the Chosen series? Barb, we've seen everything but the current one. Have you been watching, what is it, season 5? Is it good? Yeah, so this guy on YouTube, Daryl Eves, I go to his conference sometimes, Vid Summit, and he was a big person at getting. I remember before The Chosen became big, Daryl at that Vid Summit saying, "I'm working on a project, and I'm trying to get it off the ground." So yeah, it's kind of neat to see it work its way through. What's up, Amethyst Haze Adventures? So Travis, my all-in was $729 for 7 days in Alaska. Yeah, I think that's really good, considering how much I've seen some cruises for lately. You don't have to cruise to Celebration Key. Take Margaritaville Paradise. They stop at Freeport and take a taxi there. Pablo, I don't think you could get in that way, though. I mean, you could get around there, but... can you refer a good Carnival cruise agent? Scuba Rick, my favorite travel agent is our partner, Walter. Let me give you a link for that. He can help you with any cruise line, and he knows Carnival, too. I'm having trouble with my windows here. I don't even have windows. I'm having trouble getting to the window I want on my MacBook. Where's Walter? I probably should just do some links, but where's Walter? I do have an exciting announcement to make beyond the cruise announcement, which I can make again. Travel partners, La Lita Loca, that's us. For your travel needs. Check this out. There we go. Marco, we haven't been watching America's Got Talent. Question from Carrie. Thank you for being a channel member. Have you ever been on a Bermuda Triangle excursion? Any good stories in Alaska for Legos? Stores in Alaska. Have I ever seen... Never been to Bermuda. We only have 2 group cruises scheduled. We're just dipping our toe back in the group cruise. We're still not sure that we want to do it. We have this group cruise coming up in New York, and I think it's only like 50 or 60 people, which I think will be a really good time, and I think we'll be able to connect with a lot of people. And then we have a group cruise in Philadelphia next year that's got 8 million people. I think it's like 200 or 300 people at this point. That is going to be a crazy one. We may disappear in a mysterious way. That is the La Lita Loca Bermuda Triangle group cruise. We go from Philadelphia Freedom. We go from Philadelphia to Bermuda to Charleston, South Carolina, Charleston back up to Philly, making the triangle. Maybe we'll have some good stories after that. Have I purchased Lego in Alaska? I don't remember finding any Lego in Alaska, to be honest. But I'm always on the lookout. Question, will you try the new... Excuse me. Will you try the new Royal Caribbean private island in Nassau? Maybe. I'm not much of a beach person, and I think that's a couple $100 excursion, maybe, for the channel, like for video. Definitely be able to see a lot of it from the ship, which will be cool. But anybody else going to try that? Carol is having the Starbucks cold brew black with a mocha foam. Yeah, I had a big Trenta cold brew black today. I hadn't had coffee in a few days, so that was pretty interesting. What's your favorite all-time port stop in the Caribbean? I would say Curacao or St. Thomas. What attire is worn the most on typical cruise? Swimwear, casual, or formal? I would say casual. Question, what's the strangest thing you've ever edited when recording on cruises? Ever edited? I don't think I understand that question. I'm pretty deliberate with what I film, so I don't have a lot of surprises. Beer Master, thank you so much for the super chat. Question, are you considering the Transatlantic 2027 above the for the festival from Southampton? I think we did consider it, but I'm not sure where we landed on it. We did look up the price for that 45-day Long Beach to Miami around the Horn of South America with stops all throughout South America. It felt expensive, but I guess if you break it down by day, it's not. What did you say that was, Jenny? $17,000, $15,000. Well, let's do the math on that. But there's so like almost every port we've never been to, so that would be fantastic. 15,000 divided by 45. $333 a day divided by 2. So it's like only $166 per person per day to do that trip, but that's expensive. But it's a lot of cruising. So, I mean, I guess, that's like, I don't know, 7 day cruises. So I guess you got to put it in perspective. 15K. Yeah, there you go. Wild About My Life booked the South American cruise. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. What are the ports in Japan that should not be missed? Betty, unfortunately, I only did the one cruise to Japan, and we went to Osaka. The Osaka Castle. That was so good. We went to Yokohama. I have to look back and see exactly where we went, but we didn't go to Hiroshima or Nagasaki, which I think that would be interesting just to see what those cities are like. I mean, you definitely want to go to Yokohama because that's how you get to Tokyo. I wouldn't miss Tokyo. Yeah. I don't know. I think I would go to as many of them as possible, I guess. Tall Richard, what kind of ship would you suggest for a couple and 3 kids of 1, 4, and 8? Gosh, I would say a ship that's got a good kids club. I think you're going to probably be best served in the Carnival or Royal vibe. I don't know what you like to do with your time. Do you like to drink a lot? Do you like to, be loud? Do you like to party? Do you like it more laid back? I would say Carnival's more on the party side with a good kids club. I would say Royal's a little more in the middle, a little laid back. I would say Norwegian's kind of a mix between Carnival and Royal. But yeah, I think you're going to be fine on any of the 3 mass markets and they got good kids clubs. And I think MSC might have a good kids club, but certainly Carnival and Royal not going to do you wrong. Dell said, I'm looking good. Are you on a secret fitness program? No. I've gone through a whole challenging thing. So I had the thyroid. I had the enlarged thyroid that I got taken out of my neck in 2024. And then I've been trying to figure out how to lose weight since then. I did do the GLP shot through Noom, but that was very expensive. And then I finally, then like 4 or 5 months went by, and I was able to get 1 round of Zepbound approved, and then now my insurance won't approve that. And so I was like, well, I just gotta do what got me the way I've lost weight before. And so I've just been watching my calories. I'm doing MyFitnessPal. It was kind of funny when I logged into MyFitnessPal, there was a recorded weight in there of 396. And I think at one point during COVID, I had popped up over 400 pounds, which is heavy. And so when I weighed this morning, I weighed like 362 point something. And so I'm down 30 pounds from 2022. I think when I bought the scale that I weigh on, I was 380. That was September of last year. So, I've gone through these phases of trying and not trying, but I'm kind of back in a trying phase. And so basically cut out sugar. I'm staying under 1,800 calories a day. My knee's still jacked up, so I'm exercising the best that I can, and I'm losing weight. So my hope is that by middle of next week, I'll be in the 350s, which I haven't been in the 350s for a long time. So just trying to do it in the middle of everything else that I'm doing, but it's not easy. But we're getting it done. Jenny B's been doing really good too. So it's the problem is, it's like you just don't want your quality of life to suck, right? Some people are like, oh, you're going to kill yourself or whatever. And I'm like, well, death, there's a finality to death that I'm okay with. But the being alive and not having a good quality of life, I think is worse than dying. So I think that's motivated me a little bit. But yeah, thanks for noticing. And I think my face is slimming down. Well, I shaved the beard down a little bit too. It looks a little better. Question from Joshua. Thank you for the super chat. What's the best cruise line to book for Alaska? I have a 10-day booked on Carnival Luminosa from San Francisco, but second guessing. The ones that have the best reputation in Alaska have traditionally been Holland America Line and Princess Cruise Lines. They've spent a lot of time in Alaska. They spend a lot of effort on their Alaskan program. But what I tell everybody is that if you already have a favorite cruise line, just go with your favorite cruise line. So if you're a Carnival person, you're going to have a great time on Carnival. But if you're somebody that uniquely wants to try Alaska, Princess, it's kind of in that same Carnival family. Princess does great. I've been on Princess. I haven't been on Holland yet. I really want to go on Holland. Been on Princess. I've been on Carnival. I've been on Norwegian. I don't think we've ever been on Royal or Holland in Alaska, so need to do that. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be fine. The exciting thing is you're leaving from San Francisco. I don't know if you've ever been to San Francisco, but that's one of my bucket list cities. So, I mean, go to San Francisco a couple days early, see the Golden Gate, go to Alcatraz, go to Haight-Ashbury, go see all the stuff with the fish market. So there's something nice about that. How's my inflammation? I think it's pretty good. I don't know. For my knee, I've got a MRI on my knee, so I have a little bit of a torn meniscus, and the orthopedic said it could just be straight up old man arthritis. And so I've been taking this Tylenol arthritis, like it acts over 12 hours or whatever. You can take it every 12 hours. When I take it, my knee feels better. When I don't take it, it doesn't. So I think the inflammation gets a little crazy. Uh, Brent, what do you think is driving all the discussions about tipping? I have been indirectly feeling the pressure from the crew on the last two cruises. It's always been a topic, I feel like there's two sides of the fence, but there's kind of a minority here. If you look like the people that remove the gratuities, at least of the crew here tonight, only 8%. So, it's. I said it the other night in the live. Like, I just hate the fact that we even have to be a part of the labor discussion, right? Like, I would love it if we could just pay our money and go cruising, But we're still in a pretty big tipping culture, at least in the U.S. So, I don't know. Thank you, Nick. Let me give the announcement again in case you missed it. I'll be going on the rarest cruise I've ever been on before. This one leaves out of Miami November the 16th, 2025 on the Carnival Celebration. And what makes it rare is that one of my really good friends, Don Terrace from Don's Family Vacation, this will be the first Carnival cruise I've ever seen him on. So I could not miss the opportunity to watch Don on a Carnival cruise ship. And he's taken 180 cruises. I don't know how many of those are Carnival, but I've known him since 2018, 2017, 2018. And he's never been on a Carnival cruise since I've known him. And, like I said, when we cruised together to Japan, he was on cruise number 101, and now he's on 180. So, let's see what Don thinks about Carnival Cruise Line. Jonathan says, are you going to follow in Don's shoes for an African safari? I don't think so. I don't know that I want to see animals that much. I couldn't even see that dog on Star of the Seas, so I don't know. Sam, yeah, man, looks fun. It'll be fun to see you. It's a 7-day trip, Kimster. 7 days. What did we broke down the itinerary. Eastern Caribbean. So Celebration Key on the first day, I guess, man, third day of the cruise, I'll be throwing up a tour of Celebration Key, Nassau. What did we say? Puerto Plata? Did we say Puerto Plata? I can't remember. Amber Cove, Grand Turk. William A., hopefully no fights on that cruise. I need to calculate how many Carnival ships or cruises I've been on. I feel like it's probably somewhere between 10 and 20 of my 60, maybe I have 70 cruises now. But I've never seen a fight on Carnival. I mean, it's definitely an outlier. So, Dawn says she's had the arthritis for a long time. Good. I'm glad you're good. Question: are you and Don going to get into a fight so that we can have a firsthand account of what they do to fighters? No, but I think they ban you. So I don't think I don't have to touch the hot oven to know that I'll get burnt. Nope, Jenny B is not going with me. That's why I picked this one, because I knew I was going by myself, and I really don't like going cruising by myself. So I like it when I go and I know somebody. So that's why I picked this one, so I could achieve my goal of going to Celebration Key and achieve my goal of not being by myself on a cruise. So at least I've got Don to pal around with if he's not too consumed with his travel agency stuff. Yeah, again, these fights are outlier events, but they certainly get a lot of attention. There is a dog. So there's a dog on Icon, and there's a dog on Star of the Seas. I don't know. Sailor, and what's that other one called? Ham Sandwich? I can't remember what it's called. Yes, Nick, Don. I'm really going on this cruise because of Don. Oh, it's Thanksgiving in November? Well, the pic I have for the live show, I think, is AI generated, and it doesn't make me fat enough sometimes, the AI, but I do love how crisp those pictures are, so I keep using them. But someday I'll be as svelte as that thumbnail. I carry all my weight in my stomach anyway, so I do kind of have that thin chest of that picture, but then my belly happens down there. Then my belly. No, they're just being dogs, Gina. I think I mean, I have no idea what relationship Michael Bailey, the leader over there at Royal, has with these dogs, but he loves these dogs. So, nope, they're just regular dogs. I think they actually are like officers or something now. I think they have official titles. That's not a joke. I believe that's true. Bon voyage. We have cruised around Christmas, but Christmas is one of those holidays where we get people over, so we try to stay home. We're all about the family on the holidays for the most part. I think we have been gone for a holiday or two, but the big holidays we like to stay around and be family people. What do I think of the Vista? I got one coming up in November. I like the Vista. We've been on it. I was on it twice. So we went on the Vista with a group early on in our cruising thing. So maybe 2018, 2019 out of Galveston. That was our first time to Galveston. That was a good time. And then I think I just did a Vista when she came out of dry dock or something. But yeah, I like that Panorama class or the Vista class of cruise ships, the Vista Horizon Panorama. I'm still up in the air sometimes whether I like those better than the XL. The XL is so big with a weird layout sometimes, like the flow is weird. I mean, the flow can be a little weird on those Vista class ships too, but those 6 ships I really like a lot. Do we plan another Virgin Voyages cruise? I think we will, but again, I kind of did that for recon. So whenever Jenny B's ready to do one, that's when we'll do one. Guy says, what cruise are we going on? So the rarest cruise that I've ever been on will be on the Carnival Celebration on November the 16th, 2025. What makes it rare? It's the fact that my friend Don Terrace, who ever since I've known him has never been on a Carnival cruise, is going on that cruise. So, yeah, he's been on like 180 cruises, and I don't know the last time he's been on Carnival. So I could not miss it. So I booked it so I could go see him on that cruise. David C., how do you feel about theme cruises? I feel like they're worth the money. So they cost more than a normal cruise, but at least the 2 that I've been on, the Comic-Con cruise and the 80s cruise, I feel like the extra stuff that you get for those cruises, the interaction, the theming part of it, which is why it's more expensive, I think it's worth it. So if there's something that you're interested in or hobby or a celebrity or anything like that, some sort of fandom that you have and they have a cruise for it, I think you'd have a good time. When's the video on MSC World America dropping? I don't know. I think the 18th is the target date. I sent my videos over for review, and because I'm working in partnership with MSC World America, so they want to look at the videos before I post them, and so I sent them over. And if they are approved, I think there's like 2 rounds of revisions, but I think they'll like it. I feel like the big video is a banger video. Yeah. So I think the 18th is a date in the contract kind of thing. Could you do a ranking of steakhouses on cruise ships? The best steakhouse, there's a couple. So there's some Cajun Bayou restaurant on the Island Princess that had the best probably single steak I've ever had at sea. This porterhouse that Jenny B likes also. And then the steakhouse I remember most fondly, I think it was on the Carnival Liberty, one of the Fahrenheit branded steakhouses for Carnival. But I've also had good meals at Chops and Cagney's or whatever. But the one I remember the most fondly is the Island Princess. Island Princess. Question, do you have to buy cruise insurance when you put your down payment down or after the final payment? So Brian, definitely insurance is a tricky thing. So I can tell you what I know about it, but I'm not an expert. So I would not consider this expert advice. I wouldn't make all your decisions based on what I say. But I believe that if you want insurance for pre-existing conditions, you have to book that at the time of putting the first bit of money down. But I think you have 2 weeks to do that. That could be wrong. So consult with somebody that's an insurance expert. But I know that there is a time limit on pre-existing conditions. But I have booked medical insurance and evacuation insurance the day before I've gone on a cruise. So yeah, there's that. Question, did you see the update on Beachcomber? No, I did not. What's the latest on Beachcomber? Have they announced where it's going to be at? No, I haven't looked at the news all afternoon. Cruise News Beachcomber. Let me sort by the last 24 hours. I don't see anything new in the news. What's the latest? Your thoughts on why there are no sea cruises on the West Coast 7 days? I don't know. I don't know how they make those decisions, Tony, as to where they put them. I think there's going to be more of them, but I do think I think they like. I mean, so they had that link open where people could book them, then they closed the link down. But I think there's going to be more because I think people really like the idea. Which cruise line do you think has the best whiskey in the drink packages? I don't drink enough Brinster to know. Does any whiskey connoisseurs out there have there's a lot. Like I know Norwegian has a dedicated whiskey bar. I think a lot of the cruise lines have a dedicated whiskey bar, but I don't know which one's any better in the drink packages. Let's see. For the Lego, I need to build some Lego. I really want to build the Jaws set. I didn't get to see Jaws at the theater. I don't know if it's still playing at the theater, but let's see. There was a question that I thought I saw. Oh, have you ever used UR Comp? I will be on the something. Yeah, Alan, I've never used them. I have free cruise in February, but I heard it's a good system where you can take your casino offers and they'll match it up for you. I've not heard bad things about UR Comp. I've only heard good things. So I would say that if you're okay not cruising on whatever particular line that you want, I would definitely try the UR Comp. Get up. Oh, I feel like I've been in this chair all day. Get up. Alan Weed, thank you so much for the super chat. Very excited for our next cruise. Watch our channel for all the latest for your faces. We're going to Ensenada in January. That'll be fun. Ensenada, that's where I went to see La Bufadora, the blowhole. That'll be fun. Congratulations on that booked cruise, and thank you so much for the super chat. Have you ever cruised out of New Orleans? If so, who did you cruise with? Peter, I did cruise out of New Orleans once. I was on either the Norwegian Getaway or Breakaway. I can't remember what it was. And it was right around Mardi Gras. It was a wild scene. It was just a wild scene in New Orleans. But I went with NCL. It was pretty good. Pretty good. Carnival has the best bourbon options. There you go. What cruises leave out of New Orleans? Certainly NCL, Carnival. I don't know who else goes out of New Orleans. Next one is free. The city of New Orleans. Ooh, we've got 900 folks in here. If you could do me a solid and hit the thumbs up button, you may have to close your chat out to hit the thumbs up, but that's helpful when it comes to YouTube. Lets them know what's going on. Question from Roderick Hawkins. Thank you for being a channel member. They have a Lego set of Star of the Seas available. Do they have? I didn't see one. I didn't really dig around in the gift shops. I probably should have bought a ship model, but the only branded Lego ships that I know of are on MSC. MSC has a Lego. Well, this one right here. That's I got that on an MSC ship, and they still sell these on MSC. Yeah, Alan Royal's good. I like NCL for a few different reasons. One of them is the Starbucks. They have some really nice implementations of They have full Starbucks on them. The interesting thing about Starbucks on Royal, though, is you can get a lot of the same drinks at the Royal Promenade. So I didn't get it. I should have got it. The one souvenir I should have got from Star of the Seas was they have a "Are You There" mug from Starbucks, which would have been cool. Megan's going on Quantum of the Seas to Ensenada in November. Lorelei said it was the Breakaway. Yeah, and then I think I was on the other one just at a different. I think I did the solo cabin on the Getaway then. Oh, wow. Mary Ann just got a certificate from the local casino to stay at Atlantis in Paradise Island. I've never been in Atlantis over there. Now, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe that should be the goal of this trip in November, is to go to Celebration Key and then go to Atlantis. I need to look and see what excursions are to Atlantis. I know it's expensive to go over there, but maybe I could just go gamble in Atlantis. I've never been on the inside over there. That'd be fun. I've never been to the Queen's Staircase in the Bahamas either, in Nassau. How was the NCL Escape? Steve, I don't know if I've been on the Escape, but I haven't. I have not had any issues with any of those NCL ships. Question: how long have you been juggling? Are you self-taught? Yeah. So Tamika, gosh, how long ago was it? I want to say back in 1994, I was going to school at this community college in Gallatin, Tennessee, just north of Nashville. And it was like, I don't know. So when I graduated high school, I was 17, and my parents kind of went and did other things. And so I wasn't super motivated to stay in college. And so I just did like one semester at Middle Tennessee. And then I worked at the Burger King, like I was like the assistant manager at Burger King or something like that. So then after a few years of like, oh, this isn't the greatest way to make a life, I decided to go to community college because I was going to have to do some, just to kind of get back in the flow of going to school. So I took a speech course. That was one of my courses, and I was doing college radio. I was working on a broadcasting degree. And the teacher there, Willie Williams, the guy was a character, Willie Williams. For the demonstration speech, he did 3-ball juggling, and he talked about how to juggle. And I was like, man, Willie Williams is kind of a chucklehead. He's a cut up. I like this guy. And if he can juggle, I can juggle. So I bought the book, the Klutz book for juggling, right? You would see it all the B. Daltons and all of the mall bookstores. And I took those little bean bags into the control room, and then I taught myself how to juggle reading that book. And then back in the day, there was no like YouTube or anything like that. So in the early 90s, there's this thing called the International Jugglers Association. That's still a thing. And the cool thing about Nashville is they had a juggling club. So every Tuesday night they would meet at the Parthenon, which was it's a full replica of the Parthenon in Greece. It was there for like a World Expo. I don't think it was an official World's Fair, but it's a really cool park. And so I would juggle every Tuesday night. I found out about the International Jugglers Association, and then I would buy cassette tapes or VHS tapes of juggling competitions from the IJA. And that's kind of where I learned how to juggle. So I've been juggling since 1994, this is 2025. Was that 30 years? Yeah, 30 years. But it's been on and off. It's a lot of muscle memory, so you don't really forget. Alan Weed, yeah, Nashville, the weather's nice. The Centennial Park, that's what it's called. That's where the Parthenon is on West End, and they have a duck pond there. We spent a lot of time there. It's a great place. Funny story from when I was a waiter at the Gaylord. So I worked at a fine dining restaurant, what used to be called the Opryland Hotel, but now it's, Gaylord owns all that. And so I think it's just now called the Gaylord Hotel. Fine dining restaurant. Well, I'll tell you a story about tipping. So it was 4 rooms, right? So there was the A, B, C, and D room. And each room had a team of 4. So you had the room captain, who was the guy who basically would take your order and do any tableside preparations for you, which tableside we did Caesar salad. We made Caesar salad from scratch. We would, for the main course, we would cut and serve a rack of lamb for 2. And for dessert, we would do flambe bananas Foster. So we'd make bananas Foster and we'd light the thing up. So you'd have a room captain, you'd have a front waiter. That's the person that would sell wine and cocktails and open wine, pour wine, that kind of thing. A back waiter, that's the person who would bring the food out. And then you would have a busboy or server's assistant. So that's where I started. I wasn't 21 yet when I started working there. I was like 19. And I started out as the server assistant, and then eventually I became back waiter, front waiter, and I work as a room captain. But we had a room captain who changed, I can't remember what he did. Somebody shorted him on a tip, and then he just took the pen and like changed it, and he got fired for that. So you always get fired for that. And then this is a horrible story, but we had another room captain who was catching grief from a guy, and he went pee in some of the ingredients to make a Caesar salad, and he served a guy pee salad, which that I didn't know about it till later. Not that I would have done anything when I was 19 years old, but yeah, that's one of the craziest things I've ever seen happen there. And then I served Conan O'Brien dinner one night. That was probably the most famous person I ever served dinner to. Maybe Lori Morgan's pretty famous too, but that was good times. Good times. Have I sailed on Sun Princess? What is my thoughts on it? Jenny B can actually answer that too. We sailed on Sun Princess last year, and that could be Jenny's favorite princess ship. I like it. I like it where they move the International Cafe up, and I kind of like the big atrium. I think it's hard to see from the top levels down into the atrium. That would be my only fix, and it'll be interesting on the Star Princess to see if they fix the ability to see stuff going on in the atrium. But beautiful ship, beautiful ship. That's right, Gina. A little pee salad. Question from Chase Slack. In your opinion, where does Sun Princess stack up compared to all the new mega ships? I don't even consider Sun Princess a mega ship. It's just a big princess ship. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, who even has a mega ship? When you think of Star of the Seas, I don't consider the big I don't consider the big carnival ships mega ships in the same way. So it's interesting. I think when I think mega ship, MSC World America it was a mega ship. So, but yeah, I think Royal's got that mega ship concept locked down. Question, any thoughts on doing back-to-back to turn a one-way cruise into a round trip? Wondering if we'd be bored on the return trip. Jonathan, we're trying to do that all the time because we don't necessarily want to fly across the ocean. No, I don't think. I think that's the way to do it. We've contemplated seeing a cool transatlantic leave like Southampton or something like that. I think Cunard's Queen Mary or QE2, Queen Mary 2 goes back and forth between New York and Southampton every week. And so that seems like a real viable way to not have to fly. So, yeah, I love a sea day. So it just depends. I don't get bored easily. Even in quiet times, I find a way to not be bored. I think because of my parents, they kind of, I don't know if this generation's different, but I was not that I wasn't allowed to be bored, but my parents always reminded me that, your boredom kind of depends on your approach to life. So, I love a sea day. And I don't find myself bored at all. But if you're easily bored, I guess the flip side of that is if you're easily bored and you do struggle with boredom, maybe the transatlantic may be boring. Been following you for a long while. Love your show. What does for your face mean? Well, so face contains your eyes and your ears. So at its simplest, for your face means I'm about to give a presentation that's audio and visual. And then the saying comes from, I guess I'll say bastardization of the line from Hangover where Rob Riggle's character shoots Zach Galifianakis in the face with a taser, and he says, "in the face." And so the first time I said "for your face," what was going through my mind was the Rob Riggle voice of "in the face," that kind of thing. But I thought it worked because your eyes and your ears are both a part of your face, which is what the show's about. It's for your face. It's for your face. If I'm on the MSC Yacht Club, will the butler escort me past children to cut the line on the water slide? Brentster, I am not sure. I've never had the butler. I do think you do get priority on some stuff, and I would assume you would cut children and adults wherever priority gets you. But I don't know. Anybody do the Yacht Club? I know I had. I was in the Haven thanks to NCL. And they escorted us to our seats in the theater past people waiting to line up. That was one of the bennies. So, yeah. Longest cruise I've ever been on, Alan. I think if you count, so I never left. I never had to unpack or get off the ship in Amsterdam or in Rotterdam. So I think the transatlantic to Rotterdam and then Rotterdam to Amsterdam, all of that was 26 days. So almost a month on that ship, which is great. Probably the longest cruise Jenny B and I have been on together was 15 days transatlantic Panama Canal crossing from, I think we left Fort Lauderdale. We ended up in San Pedro in California. That was a great time. That was really good. Let's see. I don't think I know that Public Enemy song, My Trip to My Health. Okay, so Marianne said that apparently the priority for Yacht Club does not extend to the water slide. Aussieland, you might be able to choose another one. I don't know how these polls work. Let me see if I can choose a poll option. I'm going to choose. I don't think I get to choose. I don't get to choose in this poll. Can you guys change your vote in the poll? I don't know. Big E's going on the November 16th sailing of the Meraviglia. This first MSC cruise. What do you think of this cruise ship and the private island? I like both. Part of that MSC World America cruise, I went on the private island and I did a paint and sip. I suck at painting, but I love it. I understand why people like it. I'm not good at getting what's in my brain onto a canvas, but probably like everything else, you have to practice. So I don't know why I would think that I'd be good at it after a couple attempts. But that was great. I had a good time, and it's a good beach day too. But I'm not into that so much. But there are a lot of people out there funning and sunning. And I was on the Meraviglia shortly after the restart. And so it was super weird. We were all masked up. There was some venues that were okay, not okay for, depending what paperwork you had. It was that weird time in cruising. So I don't know that I can really give a fair thought of Meraviglia, but I love the hardware for MSC is always banging. I love the chromes. I love the maroons. I love the open promenades. So I think it's a nice ship, but as far as the cruising went right after the shutdown, it was strange. Are Jenny B and I travel advisors? I always thought about getting into this. No clue where to start. We were for a little bit. Jenny B ran that business for a couple years and then just realized it wasn't her business to be in. Like, she just wasn't digging it. It was more stress than fun. And so, we're not, that we partner with our friend Walter, but, what can I say about being a travel agent? This is what I know. If you know a lot of people, like if you have a list, if we want to talk in those terms, like if you have a large network of friends, large social network that you can sell travel to, you gotta have some way to reach a lot of people. And it worked well for us because of the YouTube channel. But if you don't have that kind of following, it's a bit of a struggle because you're just out there trying to follow leads and it's a grind. But if you have a big list of people and you're passionate about helping people for travel, it's a great thing to do. But it's like an all-consuming thing. Like, you'll go on a cruise and you'll have to answer people's questions. You'll be at home at 10 or 11 o'clock at night and you'll need to answer people's questions. Some people will run you through the ringer to get them quotes and tell them everything possible about cruising, and then they won't book with you and you don't make any money. So there's ups and downs, but I know a lot of successful travel agents who love it. And it just turned out not to be for the lovely Jenny B. I never wanted to do it. It's too rigorous it's too structured for my personality, shall I say. I'm more of a free spirit. And so I was always trying to just be in a supporting role for Jenny B, but she didn't love it. She didn't love it long term. She didn't love it long time. Let's see. Heather will be passing us in New York City. Be sure to wave. How many times back to back in different stewards we just prepay? Having many times. Yeah. That to me, I think the cruise lines made that value proposition. Hey, tipping's too challenging. You're not going to be able to see everybody that you should tip. So we're just going to give an assigned gratuity. I wish they would just do that and not talk about it, right? And I wish they wouldn't put envelopes in your cabin after that and all that. To me, that's the disingenuous part. Hey, you're going to pre-assign me a gratuity, which suggests that any gratuity that I should pay has been paid. You're going to charge me a gratuity for drink packages and drinks I buy from the bar, which would say that those are the gratuities I should have paid. You're going to charge me a gratuity for specialty dining, which would assume that I've paid all the gratuities I should pay. But yet, you're going to stick an envelope in my room at the end of the day for if you want to do anything extra. So to me, it's a little manipulative, but there you go. Sailing out of Galveston, should we fly in a few days early and see the island? I think we went in a day early. There's a cool boardwalk there with like an amusement park, that kind of stuff. There's good food on the island. It depends. Like, if you're in the mood just to get there and get on your cruise, then maybe not spend a lot of extra time. But if you're there to explore a little bit, I don't think you would be disappointed with the exploration. You're pretty close to Houston too, so there's stuff to do in Houston. Question, what is the site that takes casino offers on other lines? You are comped. You are comped. Lorelei, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the live show. Always look, I try. I love these live shows because you never know what the questions are going to be. It's as close to doing jazz as I come, I guess. We're just riffing, we're just going with it, and I like it. I like it a lot. I like it. Question, how is the food on MSC compared to Royal Caribbean cruises? I've heard that MSC food is bad. Micah, that was definitely the reputation that MSC had when they first came to North America. But the food that I had I was super impressed with the included food on the World America. I had 3 of the specialty dining restaurants on World America. The food was good. Buffet had a lot of food, and it was. Jenny says it's the best pizza at sea. It's a different kind of pizza, but it's pretty good. So yeah, I think it compares well with Royal, Carnival, Norwegian. I was thinking about it the other day. I think the best buffet I've ever had is on Celebrity, though. Celebrity buffet where you could actually go and they would grill protein to order. If you're somebody that was looking to, kind of stay cool with what you're eating, that was the most solid buffet. Like, hey, can I just have a grilled piece of fish or a grilled piece of chicken? But that was Celebrity Apex, I think. Best cruise director. The next one, I don't know. There's cruise directors I definitely like. With Carnival ones that are always lively. Lee Mason, Flying Scotsman, who isn't there anymore. Jamie D was our second cruise director. Mikey from South Africa. I don't know. Jenny likes the guy on Royal Caribbean. What's that guy's name, Jenny? I don't know. It's interesting though. Like, do you guys think a cruise director? There's some great Cole on Princess. They really can't add what's her name on Margaritaville? Yeah. Z something. I don't know. But I don't know. They're great. I mean, I think cruise directors definitely can add to the fun of a thing. Bob King, thank you so much for the super chat. Question, have you ever been on the Bliss going in Mexico in March? Yeah, Cecilia, I was on the Bliss. I guess it was last year or maybe the year before. But yeah, it was a great ship. I love the observation deck. I like where the local is there. It's a great ship. All right, 10 o'clock, and I still have an hour's worth of work to do before I can go home. And so I'm going to jump off here and knock that out. Oh, thanks for the super chats, guys. Karen Newman, thank you for the super sticker. Bob, again, thank you for the super sticker. Virgin Voyages, happening cast, first cruise director role. I don't know. It was a good time. I think it's just names, like semantics, right? Sailors versus cruisers or whatever. It was another fun, entertaining staff when I was on the Virgin ship. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for stopping by. My name's Tony. For the lovely Jenny B out there in the chat, we are La Lido Loca. And now you know I'm going to be documenting Don Terrace's return to Carnival. He's going to go in like a triumphant general back to Carnival. Thank you guys so much for watching the show tonight. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.